Now that's what I call a season finale.
NERDSoul.
LeIllKid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing you that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, we coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen. We're a little bit early, of course, because we got to talk about the fall finale of Star Trek Discovery. And straight up, I just want to say how much I have enjoyed this show from the first episode up until now. It's been well done, great effects, some moments that hit me in the heart, some characters to hate, some characters to love. And when art can elicit a response where this person gets on your nerves because she acts like this, or this guy gets on your nerves and you can't stand him, and you love this character and you pull for this and that, it just really got me involved, and I have been enjoying this show. It's been a ton of fun. The value proposition of CBS All Access notwithstanding, but I have really enjoyed this show. So let's get into the opening of this episode. It's really interesting to me to see the Admiral, or like the next guy up or whatever, the Vulcan cat, just like the Admiral or whatever, and Lorca literally having an argument in front of the whole bridge. Like, that's something that I would expect to happen, kind of like in his quarters, a personal like conversation. But you know, they're having basically a lover's quarrel. No, I'm just playing. But they're having an argument straight up about how to handle this battle, this skirmish, this situation that they're in, you know, face to face, in front of the whole crew. Well, maybe not the whole crew, but the crew on the bridge. And that struck me as odd because as the Admiral and also as Lorca, you wouldn't want to do this in front of everybody, because you don't know how that'll end. And you don't want to create a situation where you're a rogue captain on a ship somewhere doing whatever they want to do. And you don't want to also create the situation of we're the admirals and we're just bearing down on everybody and telling them what, even though they do tell you what to do, but you don't want to be the overbearing. You want to be like, these are your orders, but you don't want to feel like you're at odds about these orders. So that, you know, Lorca, you know, I mean, Lorca is a problem because he's too competitive with his own people. Like, it's like, dude, we're on the same side. And even though we might not agree all the times, we have this chain of command for a reason. Now, of course, you know, you have the spore drive and all that good stuff, and the Pavins are there, the planet's, you know, not protected, and they have to leave. Well, of course, Lorca's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. We're gonna go to space, spaceship or space station 46 or whatever. But while they're in warp, Lorca literally turns to his crew and he's like, yo, we ain't following orders. How can you do that? You're almost encouraging insubordination. And Lorca has just lost all his marbles. Like, if it's not about winning, that dude doesn't care. Now, honestly, you do need that type of cat on your squad. You need that dude that cares about nothing but winning, you know, because he's willing to go that extra mile. But having someone like that is also a problem, as you see here, because dude is insubordinate in front of the whole crew. And like, the Vulcan cat was like the Admiral or something. Like, son, yo, you gotta, you know, fall back a little bit. But, you know, everything seemed to work out because they were in warp heading back to the space station, even though Lorca was like, look, how can we turn around and get this ship and figure out all of these, you know, cloaking, you know, maneuvers and detections? How can we figure out how to spot them, how to track them, and all of that good stuff? And I like the plan that came together pretty quick. And I also like the plan for the jumps. Like the 133 jumps, even though that's an incredible number, but I love the way that they all came together as a team. Like, I can do this, and I think this will work, and maybe we can do this if we put these parts together, and you know, let us go over on the ship, and we can place these monitors and all that. I like seeing the team coming together and all sharing ideas and kind of spitballing and doing the brainstorm phase. And during this brainstorm phase and the alternate worlds talk about 133 jumps and the spore drive and the different spots in the, in the universe or the galaxy. And we get to talk about those alternate worlds, and which is getting me to wonder, are we going to be playing with alternate worlds, black holes coming in and out, what side, different times, because we are in space. And when you're dealing with sci-fi, there's a time in sci-fi where things get weird, they get convoluted. And when I say convoluted, I mean time travel, I mean alternate worlds, multiverses, all of that. And that's the good stuff about sci-fi. So I'm glad that they actually opened that door, even though they've opened it up, before. But, now this is another series in the same timeline, but just another series where they're also bringing up those concepts. And I'm glad that we're opening up the door because, of course, at the end of the episode, we see that that door is definitely open. Now, there's tons of cool stuff to talk about. We've got to talk about Cole and a whole host of characters. But before we get into the very meaty character emotional part of this, of course, KURO brand gonna help us pay them bills. Oh, yeah, that's dope. Of course, guys, if you like what you see, check that link below on KURO brand. Cop a shirt, get one, enjoy it. But let's talk about the movement to the, of course, Ship of the Dead, which I love the name of anyway. But Michael's monologue showed that she is really, her character has made a turn. Because for a moment, she was just like, you know what, I'm done. There's nothing I can do. I'm just gonna serve my time and just live my life out, and that's just all I'll be. But it seems like she's really taking to this crew, taking to this ship, taking to this role as the specialist and really wanting to make a difference. I mean, Lorca said it himself in episode 3, I believe, where it was like, you started, do you wanna help end it? And I think she's really bought into the idea of, yes, I wanna be part of what ends this war. I wanna be part of what changes this war. And I'm happy. It's good to see her step up, because when they get onto the Ship of the Dead, we get a lot of just revelations. Like when, we're setting the traps, or I mean, not setting the traps, we're setting the monitors, and we get to see the Admiral, and everything seems fine. But once Ash sees Cole, Laurel, once he sees her, he just shuts down. And I like that. I thought that was a good touch because, up until now, it seemed like, hey, I was a prisoner, but I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. I ain't got nothing to worry about. And now we're seeing, whoa, he is truly affected. And this is something that he hasn't dealt with. And how deep does this go in his psyche? Like, what else could this affect? And even towards the end of the episode, we see that he is truly manipulated to an extent we have no idea, because he then comes to see her and their exchange is very cryptic. And I really want to see where that goes, because they have a weird relationship where, of course, it's become intimate, it's become harmful, it's become dangerous, it's become torturous. So you mix all of those emotions together, and it's very, it's very hard, of course, for him to deal with. And it was good to see that Michael was there for him, because, that man could have really fell apart. And instead of him falling apart, we get to see a nice touching moment between Michael and Ash, where she's like, I understand, I'm here for you, and I know that this thing comes with, this black and white war comes with a ton of grays and weird spaces where you don't know where your feelings are or why your feelings are or where the pain may come from. But that pain could be crippling. It could be depressing, from moment to moment. I mean, he was frozen, and then all of a sudden he's crying and all. So there's a lot of pain and hurt there. And I was glad to see that. I mean, of course, you know, I don't want Ash to go through stuff, but it was good to see him go through this character moment, because it means that we're not just focusing on, you know, it's not just Michael's journey, even though, of course, she's the star, but the people around her matter to her as they matter to us. So I think that was really cool. Now to Michael, I love how she took up, you know, the rest of the mission, finished the mission, but what she really got, of course, was Giorgio's pin back. When she went head up with Cole, you know, talking about honor, talking about he fought her, why don't you fight me, all of this stuff. One, it gave the ship the time to do the 133 jumps, and we'll talk about that. But I like the fact that she stood up and she kind of faced her destiny in a way. This kind of closed the chapter for her and gave her that closure she needed, because she, to a certain degree, held off Cole as long as she could. I mean, he's a Klingon, so he's just like physically stronger than her, you know, but she had some moves in and she did pretty well, and she was able to get that pin back. And I know that meant a lot to her. And not only did that mean a lot to her, but when she got back to the ship, seeing Saru's respect, I know that meant a lot. And that was what, it really pushed it for me to like really get emotional about that scene. Like, man, this is a big win for the Discovery. Like, this is a big win for the Discovery. This is a huge win for the Federation, because the Ship of the Dead is gone, which was probably like their, you know, like their beacon, you know what I'm saying? And now that's gone. We've got the pin back, and we've got a prisoner, you know, to interrogate, to ask questions, all that good stuff. So and we got the Admiral back. So we've got a lot of wins on this. This was huge. But of course, it wasn't without a cost, with, of course, the lieutenant who made those 133 jumps, which was cool. That whole sequence of it jumping and shooting and everything, that was incredible. But of course, it was wearing him out. And I was even watching it saying, and I've said in the episode before, saying, you know, what if he dies in the middle of a jump? Or what if he, you know, collapses, whatever? You know, what could this do? And we found out. And the unfortunate thing, or maybe fortunate thing for writing purposes, is that he did end up not dying, but he collapsed in the middle of a jump, and they don't know where they are. And I do believe right now they're probably either on the other side of a galaxy, or in a different part of the universe, or in an alternate universe. Because when they came up, of course, Lorca was saying like there's Klingon ship remnants all over the place. So they are literally lost in space, and they have no idea where they are. And I don't think they are where they were. So, of course, guys, holla at me, I'ma holla at you. Down in them comments, I had a great time watching the first half of this season. I think this show is off to a great start and really doing its thing, and it's getting its, you know, it's just moving like a well-oiled machine. And I really care about these characters, man. The doctor did his thing, the lieutenant, even the cadet that's like, changing the spore drive and stuff. Like this is a good cast we got here, man. So of course, let's talk about it. And before I bounce, I gotta tell you guys to head up thatnerdsoul.com. That's right, check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. And don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching, so share it. And LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart, so please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, man, if you trying to get a secret mission popping, keep it on the hush. Peace.